Coming up on Tekzilla, deep inside an HD lab in Hollywood, secrets of SD cards, shopping, your unbelievable living room browser suggestions to get your lean back on, stopping Android security leak, and hey, viewer questions. So grab the syrup and douse those oatmeal pancakes, because Tekzilla starts now. This episode of Tekzilla is made possible by GoToAssist Express, Squarespace, and Windows Azure. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Robert Heron.
Welcome to Tekzilla, hands-on reviews of the latest tech and how to make the most out of the gear you've already got.
Hey, whether you're a beginner or tech support for your friends and family, if you've got a question about tech or where the best glitter and unicorns are, we've got an answer for you.
Did you see the unicorn soldering iron?
No. I totally just made that up. Unicorns and glitter.
We'll talk about it later. And if we don't know who makes a unicorn glitter soldering iron, we'll track down someone who does. YouTube turned 6 years old this week.
Really?
Sporting 3 billion views a day. I think they said something like 4,000 hours of video are uploaded every 30 seconds. I'm kidding. It's more like 48 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube like every hour. Because so many people are uploading their own personal videos and stuff.
A free video service like that. That's just awesome. That was because hosting video is expensive. It's nice to have that there. Although the whole loading, buffering.
3 billion views a day.
That's incredible. Half the planet.
Huge. Also, I can't wait to get my grubby little paws on Pioneer's new app radio. It's an iPhone head unit for in your car, 6.1-inch capacitive touchscreen, and they're doing a deal where they're modding iPhone applications to work with that 6.1-inch screen. So it handles like multiple gestures or multiple finger gestures. Motion X GPS, Drive, Inrix Traffic, Pandora, and RDO are all supposed to ship with it June, right around $500 for that, or just under $500
nice.
for that.
So app developers can pretty much use tools they're probably familiar with to get code and apps onto Pioneer's new head unit?
I think so, or
like
it kind of runs in sync with your, sorry, Ford is a sync kind of thing, or sync is a Ford kind of thing. Basically, I think they run on your iPhone, but they show up on the screen.
Gotcha. Okay.
On the head unit. I will get a chance, hopefully we'll get one in for eval. So.
Nice. It's cheaper than putting an iPad for a head unit in, I guess.
Well,
maybe.
You know, at this point, I've been using that for my head unit too.
In other news, Senator Al Franken wants Apple and Google to bring, quote, clear and understandable privacy policies for all of their apps. And writing, quotes, Loop Insight, if the companies agree to this request, consumers who purchase apps from Google or Apple's app stores would have a clearer understanding of what information is being collected about them and with whom it's being shared, and unquote. Now, I can't remember. Did he call out Facebook too on this? I wonder.
Yeah, I'm sitting there and I'm like, we'll have to, yeah, it's just, you know, wouldn't it be nice if Facebook told you every bit of information you're sharing with everybody and how?
I've painstakingly gone through all their security settings and I feel reasonably secure, and I don't install any apps on Facebook. I use it to keep track of birthdays. That's about it.
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah.
Apple posted an article on support.apple.com on how to remove, or I should avoid or remove Mac Defender malware, which hopefully means Apple Tech Support will be allowed to talk more openly about Mac Defender now, and the geniuses will be allowed to help people remove it, especially since Apple expects to, quote, deliver a Mac OS X software update that will automatically find and remove Mac Defender malware and its known variants in the next few days. It hasn't showed up on my machine yet. I wait eagerly for it. And while many people have taken great pains to bring the awesome Daring Fireball blog's most excellent blog entry, Wolf, which lists a series of malware warning cries from tech journalists going back to 2004, basically implying, oh so cleverly, that because OS X has always been safe, OS X will always be safe, and that Wolf, basically, you know, the little tech journalist that cried, Wolf. Look, I'm going to say, hey, if you're feeling paranoid, maybe it's time to download Intego's free trials or ClamX AV and consider that just possibly someday violent, nasty malware, the likes of which is generally only seen on Windows XP that hasn't been updated, or Windows 7 if you click the wrong thing one too many times, may eventually make its way onto OS X.
Was the Mac Defender app one of those ransomware things where it install itself and then you got to pay money in order to
you would
claim your system? Oh,
one of the things that people said is Google's making very strong efforts to try to, because basically people were link baiting, doing other stuff, and that Google's working to make that stuff harder to show up in the in the Google search results. Basically, read the link in the show notes, educate yourself, and hey, you know, hopefully OS X will always be safe forever.
Hey, in other news, SID was last week, the Society for Information Displays. I could mention a few interesting items that were there, but it was mostly Samsung related. Well, one thing they showed off, transparent LCDs, demoed as a refrigerator door. That was sweet looking. Active 3D panel tech, basically take the shutter system that's in the glasses and put it on the display, giving you full HD 3D with a passive glasses system. Yes. This is a collaboration between Samsung and RealD. They are going to be shipping, they claim they're going to be shipping computer monitors with this technology this year, HD TVs next year.
And props to TweetDeck, they've been bought by Twitter, and hopefully that means they will fix the errors that cause TweetDeck to crash my iPhone 4. Not that I'm bitter and angry. By the way, Tweetbot, which was Veronica Belmont recommended to me, is awesome.
Gotta check it out.
I'm liking it. Lots of cool, nifty little features in there.
Want to check it out?
Got a question from Joe.
Ooh. Joe writes in, hey, I love the show. Question, who ended up winning the Samsung Smart TV since the contest ended May 17, 2011? It was said that the winner would be announced on the Tekzilla, but still nothing. Nothing, no, Joe. I could tell you, but...
No, actually, we'll let you know at the end of the show. We promise. It will be in the end of this show. You will know who has won the Samsung flat panel.
Awesome. Hey, Victor's got a question that caught Patrick's eye this week. He writes in, hello, Tekzilla family. A common question I get asked about is how to choose the right micro SD card for your smartphone. Currently, I have a Verizon HTC Droid Incredible, which per HTC's website should support a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. On TigerDirect.com, when I'm shopping for a card, I get the following choices. What is the difference of Class 2 from, say, a Class 4 or a Class 10 card? Thanks, signed Victor.
Well, an SD card speed class, it's one of many SD card specs that we'd never really thought about before today. It's a standard for minimum data transfer speeds, guaranteed for the card. For SD, SDHC, SDXC, SDHC, UHS1, and SDXC, UHS1 cards. Movie and video companies, camera companies wanted to make sure they could write fast enough on the memory cards. So Class 2 is 2 megabytes per second, Class 10 is 10 megabytes per second. This is the minimum guaranteed speed a card will support. So it's interesting. That doesn't mean it's the fastest speed the card will support, and you know, it's kind of depending on how the bin sorting worked out that week. A 2 megabit per Class 2 card could actually be as fast as a Class 10 card. SDcard.org says the application for the speed classes, Class 2 is H.264 video recording, MPEG-4 recording, Class 4 is MPEG-2 HDTV and video recording, DSC consecutive photo shoots, Class 6 megapixel DSC consecutive photo shooting, professional video cameras, Class 10 full HD video recording like 1080p video, HD still picture consecutive shooting. Your manual should tell you the maximum card size and speed, that basically the maximum card your gadget can read, because basically the size of the card your gadget can read is based on the controller in the card, and the speed class for your gadget for the different features. Roll with those specs. I mean, finally though, depending on your phone, it might really not matter. Older phones generally don't generate enough data fast enough or write data fast enough to max out even a Class 2 card.
Excelente.
So read the manual and move forward from there.
I've got a full-size SD card and it had a 10 on there, and I had no clue what that meant until today. Now I do.
The Circle 10.
The little 10.
We're going to be bringing Lloyd Case back in the show pretty soon, so now is the time to send in your questions for the man, the myth, the legend, sound cards, motherboards, monitors, how to keep people from fighting at your LAN party. If you've got a PC question, Lloyd's the guy to ask, so send your questions in to Tekzilla@revision3.com with Lloyd Case in the subject line. Right now, though, it's time to thank one of our sponsors. Go to Assist Express. You're an IT, a software consultant, you're probably looking to compete with the big guys without going bankrupt. But if you're a one-man show, you need a remote support tool, and the best is Go to Assist Express. The faster you can connect to a customer, the faster you can move on to the next challenge, and the less pain involved, the better for you. How about reducing your travel time, increasing your revenue by handling more support requests without leaving your desk? Brought to you by Citrix. You know Go to Assist Express is easy and secure. You're a Tekzilla viewer, so we've got a nifty free trial for you. Go to Assist Express free for 30 days. For this special offer, visit gotoassist.com/Tekzilla. Go to assist.com/Tekzilla for a free trial. You'll be helping yourself and keeping Tekzilla coming to your desktop each and every day, or your living room, or wherever you choose to watch the show. It's time to get our HD Nation on. Rob, Mr. Heron recently spent some time down in LA with Panasonic. Sir, what did you see?
The
secret lair.
I did. I took a secret trip. No, it wasn't secret. Anyway, I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to take a brief tour of the Panasonic Hollywood Laboratory, or PHL for short. It's located in Universal City, Hollywood. Now, PHL is a video research laboratory that focuses on producing the highest quality visual experience. Ta-da! And its areas of research include digital conversion for film-based movies, compressing DVD videos, authoring, and digital cinema. Now, unfortunately, insanely strict security restricted me from taking any pictures or video of the interior of the place, for the most part. But I was able to meet some of Panasonic's 3D video editors and see them work their magic. And I got to bask in the glow of 100-inch plus 3D, basically 100-inch plus 3D plasma monitors. They were all over the place. And among the highlights of the tour was PHL's viewing room that seated about 70 people or so, and it's driven by a Christie digital 4K front projector onto a 10-meter screen. 10 meters, people. Now, what was really cool about the projector setup was its ability to do a split screen function, where they had us basically guessing which half of the screen was the original 4K source, in this case they were showing us Avatar, and which was the downsampled version, something closer to Blu-ray resolution. And I'll be honest with you, it was difficult to tell the two apart. That's how good they work on getting the encoded video to look like the original source material. And of course, I'd have to say the preview of the upcoming Star Wars: The Complete Saga, that looked really good on that 4K screen too. And of course, Panasonic demoed its latest GT and VT series of 3D plasma TVs, as well as some side-by-side 3D comparisons where they highlighted the weakness of their competitors, which is always kind of fun to participate in. I also have to say that one of my favorite calibration pieces of software, CalMan, those guys were actually in-house and they were showing off their ability to control the latest generation of these Panasonic plasma TVs, the high-end ones at least, through an IP connection. And that I'm looking forward to trying out myself sooner or later. So hopefully sooner. I'm looking to get one of the GT or the VT series 30 panels in, the new latest and greatest from Panasonic, and that should be soon.
Were there secret things that you desperately want to talk about that you can't talk about?
I don't believe I had to sign an NDA for anything I saw there, but just the fact that we were able to walk around the inside of the lab, but we literally couldn't open a door, had to stay where we were, couldn't take pictures or video, anything. That was a little bit annoying, but great guest list.
Didn't release like the next episode of insert incredible movie coming out soon.
There was a lot of that going on. A lot of gremlins hard at work making cool looking video. It was cool, and we had a chance to get some hands on too with some of their consumer 3D products as well. And I was surprised at how far they've come in a year or two. I guess it's been now. Fun was had by all, and it was warm and beautiful down there. By the way, I love Southern California. I could just keep rambling.
I was going to say, it's not that warmer than San Leandro. Brian writes in, hey, compadres, I have a client that is looking to run a source over wireless HDMI to multiple displays. They also want to have multiple setups of each. I know Asus and Brightview make some options, but is there a way to broadcast that wireless HDMI signal to multiple receivers? If not, do you have any suggestions for alternatives? Keep up the great work, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Have you checked out Geffen.com yet? Geffen is not cheap, but they make bomb-proof broadcast quality gear, and I think if anybody has something that's going to hold up under abuse, whether, I got to say, like wireless HDMI and multiple monitors always makes me nervous.
They make great gear. However, it is without a doubt some of the more expensive gear you're going to find out there. However, if spending $1,000 on a wireless HDMI kit isn't going to work for you, the good folks at Monoprice have a wireless HDMI extender that claims to support a, quote, point-to-point mode, which is what you're looking for. Point-to-multi-point mode, excuse me. So you can have one transmitter and multiple receivers. They also had a multi-to-multi mode as well. But the pair, basically, the transmitter-receiver pair costs about $190, which is about, I don't know, a fifth the price of what Geffen's probably going to get you for. However, Geffen does offer lossless audio transmission, which is something if you need that, you might have to pay extra for that. But compared to even a couple of years ago, the latest crop of wireless HDMI products are more robust. They do away with the compression that the initial products were using, so you maintain perfect picture quality, and they're certainly more affordable. And the Asus product you mentioned and the Bright Light, I think he said, those are also two well-respected products for doing a basic 1080p video connection. Right. If you don't need the lossless audio or the multi-point systems, the Asus and the Bright Light products are probably going to do you just fine. Or check out Monoprice too. But that Geffen product does everything I would want, however you're paying to get that.
I will also point out that as much as you may want to do wireless, it may be orders of magnitude cheaper and more reliable depending on the environment you're putting it in to do it over Cat 5.
Totally. Switchers, a nice matrix switcher, running Cat5 if you need balins on each end, or however you want to do it. Nothing beats a piece of copper in my mind. So, or fiber optic.
Just a thought.
Now it's time for the new Blu-ray releases for the week of May 31st, 2011. First up, American Graffiti Special Edition. Before he gave birth to the pop culture phenomenon that is Star Wars, George Lucas directed a little film called American Graffiti. Released in 1973, this film is based on Lucas's high school days in Modesto, California, and stars several recognizable names like Ron Howard, Richard Dreyfuss, Harrison Ford, and others before they hit it big. This single disc release comes with a VC1 codec, 236:1 aspect ratio, and a DTS HD Master Audio 2.0 soundtrack. Extras include picture-in-picture commentary with George Lucas, a U-Control feature that you trigger while watching the film, and it'll display the artist and title of the songs as they play. You also get 23 minutes of screen tests for those as of yet unknown young actors, and an 80-minute documentary on the making of the film. Next up, A Clockwork Orange 40th Anniversary Edition. This 1971 Stanley Kubrick classic has been released on Blu-ray before, back in 2007, but now for the 40th anniversary, it's getting a re-release with new packaging and some new special features. It's a region-free release and comes with the same VC1 encoded transfer with a 166:1 aspect ratio, and although this film was the very first in history to use the Dolby sound system, this release includes a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 soundtrack. Extras include those from the previous Blu-ray release, an audio commentary, a 44-minute documentary on the cultural impact of the film, a 28-minute featurette on the production and release, and an 86-minute documentary on lead actor Malcolm McDowell, plus 3 new extras, a 2-hour documentary on Stanley Kubrick, and an 11-minute and a 26-minute featurette, both featuring Malcolm McDowell. It all comes on 2 Blu-ray discs, including a digital copy, and it's all encased in a digibook with 40 pages of production notes, rare photos, and more. Also released this week, the Stanley Kubrick Limited Edition Collection. This massive box set includes Spartacus, Lolita, Dr. Strangelove, 2001: A Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, The Shining, Full Metal Jacket, and Eyes Wide Shut. All of these films are currently available individually on Blu-ray as well, except for Lolita and Barry Lyndon, which are being released on the same day exclusively through Amazon. Specs for each film are the same as their existing releases. The set also includes the 2-hour documentary on Stanley Kubrick titled A Life in Pictures, that is also included in the Clockwork Orange release we previously mentioned. And the 10 discs are all encased in a 40-page hardcover digibook. And as always, check out our show notes at Tekzilla.com or hdnation.tv for the rest of this week's Blu-ray releases. It's time to thank one of our sponsors, Windows Azure. Windows Azure is the cloud platform for developers that lets you focus on building and running apps, not infrastructure. It has scalable, pay-as-you-go capacity, meaning developers don't have to wait to develop, get faster speed to market, and generate immediate demand. Only rent what you need when you need it. It's a rich platform with built-in connectivity and development tools, meaning that you can focus on business logic and get a head start on time to market. Flexible deployment gives you the ability to run on Windows Azure or your own systems. With the Windows Azure burst capacity, you can deploy with confidence, running your apps where and when it makes sense without worrying about overwhelmed systems. To learn more about everything you need to start developing with Windows Azure, check out www.microsoft.com/cloud/Windows Azure.
We love your emails and tweets and Facebook postings. Not just the questions, though we always want more of them. Tekzilla at revision3.com, at Tekzilla, or Facebook.com/Tekzilla. But the tips, like this one from the ever-enthusiastic Dean the Kid, who writes, "Hi, my name is Dean. I just want to share some cool features about Windows 7. Installing Internet Explorer 9 allows you to pin your fave sites to the taskbar. Installing Visual Studio means you'll always have the latest in .NET service packages. Use Steam instead of the built-in Games Manager. Use iTunes instead of Windows Media Player. And Windows 7 was officially released on my birthday, the 22nd of October. Cheers."
Coming up. I like that Steam tip. I do the same thing. You can add any application to your games list in Steam.
Ooh.
So if it's a non-Steam title, why leave that shortcut on your desktop or whatever and just put it in Steam?
One app to rule them all and in the darkness launch them.
And I've started using, on a cleanly built system I started using Steam's built-in graphics driver updating tool.
Oh.
So that'll just automatically check for you and just do its magic, and I kind of like it.
I need to spend more time playing video games.
I like it. Thank you, Dean. If I didn't say that again, I'm going to say it again. Hey, Howard in New Jersey wrote us with this email asking us, "I got a new MacBook Pro about 3 months ago. I love everything about it. However, I'm looking to spend some of my time gaming on the Mac. I do not want to boot camp or Parallels. I'm looking for Mac native games. I like shooters and space games. Patrick and Veronica, please help. P.S. I'm really not a WoW person. Sorry, Veronica. Howard in New Jersey.
Yeah, unfortunately, gaming on the Mac is
Steam. Oh, there's Steam. They have that for Mac now.
Oh, well, yeah. I was going to say, you know, Mac sort of has fewer games than Windows machines, and basically there's a low return on porting games over to OS X, so very few of the AAA titles or the major league titles you see on Windows and games consoles ever make it to OS X. But if you really want to get your Nvidia game on and you've got a decently spec'd machine, check out Steam and Apple's Mac App Store. Steam, of course, is Valve's online game, digital distribution site client thing. Although all of Valve's own titles are available through Steam, there are plenty of other publishers that use the service as well, including EA, Take-Two, and the list could go on all day. Well, the Mac App Store also has a few titles, typically older PC shooters like Call of Duty 4. The best of the bunch would definitely have to be Valve's Left 4 Dead series, Half-Life 2, Team Fortress 2, and although it's not a shooter, it's kind of first-person shooter-ish, Portal 2.
Oh, yeah.
We like these mostly because A, they're really great games, and B, they're not ports of older PC games that make you feel sad when your PC friends come over. Plus, most Valve games let you play with PC gamers. For example, Portal 2 is available for Mac and PC, so you can go thrash Windows users in an open
or play
gaming
co-op
environment.
Portal 2 has an amazing co-op system.
You're always full of the love.
Yeah,
if you're okay with older titles, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is fun, as is the Medal of Honor Allied Assault series.
That was a good one.
As for space, it really depends on what you mean by space. There are plenty of space-themed strategy games out there that we like. StarCraft 2 is a real-time strategy game. Star Wars The Force Unleashed is your basic third-person action game. They might not be what you're after, but you can check them out. Finally, if you really want to have the latest and greatest computer games, you really do need to run Windows via Boot Camp and just deal with it, my friend. It's time to thank one of our sponsors, Squarespace. Squarespace is the fast and easy way to create a high-quality blog, portfolio, pretty much any kind of website. If you've got questions or you need help, no worries. Squarespace provides every single member with amazing support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's easy. Start your website or your blog by choosing from over 60 professionally designed templates. You customize it, and then you can add content from your computer, your iPhone, or your iPad. The mobile apps really make Squarespace incredibly useful if you're on the go, because you can add entries and manage your comments from anywhere you've got a net connection. Many of the internet's highest traffic web pages powered by Squarespace, not to mention many of the personal pages of Revision 3 hosts and personalities. Do yourself a favor, if you're looking for a better web hosting or web creation tool, squarespace.com/Tekzilla. You'll get a 2-week free trial, and you can learn quite a bit more about Squarespace on that site. Squarespace.com/Tekzilla. Please support Tekzilla by supporting our sponsors.
Hey, a few weeks ago, we partnered up with Samsung to give away that monster 55-inch smart TV we've been using during the show. Hint, hint. Well, we are now, we have a winner, basically. And I'm happy to announce that the owner of this TV right here is Twitter user Joe S. Bradley. Congratulations, Joe. Seriously. I was hoping to take it home, but alas not. And you know what I will do? Tomorrow I will come in and I will basically go through the TV, make sure everything's up to snuff. I'm going to test it before it goes out.
Is this a custom Robert Heron calibration?
I'll tweak it up for you, make it look good, and I'll make sure I reset everything so it looks, so it's not like messed with and there's not other settings or there's stuff in there. And I'll do a great job of boxing it back up because I've done that probably 10, 15,000 times.
Don't forget the nose prints on the glass.
No, and that remote. I keep learning cool things about that remote. It actually has like a little track-style pad. Basically, it's a little infrared emitter coming out of there over the interkey, like so. That's pretty crazy. But and it acts like basically a keypad or a mouse pointer.
Congratulations, by the way. Thanks
Yeah.
to Samsung for supporting the show and bringing one of y'all a nice, shiny new monitor. I'll put this down.
It's nice.
Goodbye. Last week, viewer Joey asked for suggestions for a browser for his home theater PC that he can easily view from the couch. We suggested basically the simplest answer, which is use Windows' built-in magnifier tool, but we've since been flooded with a deluge of emails and comments recommending the cross-platform Mozilla-based HD TV optimized browser called Kyllo. Thanks to Akshat, Keith, Rasmus, David, Matthias, Rick, Stephen, Oliver, and Sergio, and anybody we might have missed on that list for a most excellent tip. Did you have this up and running on your system?
I do, and I've got it blasting on the screen here. Essentially what we're looking at is the Kyllo Browser, and like we said, it's Mozilla-based, and this is the default look. Actually, I did tweak one thing, and I'll go real quick into the settings for this, which is that button right there, but under settings, which I found really neat right off the bat, was you have a variety of options. You can set the home page and all the other cool stuff, but the screen setting, one, we have the resolution, but fit Kyllo to your screen. So by default, this thing ships or launches with an underscans screen. Here, I'll even hit restore so you can see what I'm talking about. Basically, it's like that. And then if you don't have to worry about overscan, maybe you're not using a rear projection TV or you've got a flat panel like this that shows you every pixel, you can then just, on each side, crank out, well, I can just hold the button down, I guess, and just stretch it out to fill as needed. So this makes it really easy to customize it to your particular screen. Hit accept, done. You get back to the main menu here. Close button's up here. And this is the default homepage, and this is basically all the different content you can go through. You have TV, movies, music, news, sports, etc. And what the heck? Click on something like Revision 3.
Thanks.
Has that there. Now say maybe you're squinting at the screen. That's still too small. They have a great magnification tool, but right at the bottom of the browser. You click that once, boom. And that gets you some full screen action right there, or at least magnified enough to where it should be good.
Right.
Now also in the settings you can customize. Let me actually undo the magnification. You can customize its default.
You just made it bigger.
I'm going huge. There we go.
First, there's going to be one word on this entire monitor.
Also, if you've got to fill in fields and things like that, it automatically brings up a nice virtual keyboard too. This is great if you have a way to control cursor in your home theater PC. Some of the complaints I've heard about this particular software was that it might not be compatible with Media Center remote controls. So if that's the case, that may be an issue. But as long as you have cursor control, this is going to be pretty cool. One other setting I wanted to show real quick. You can also basically set default sizes for things like text. Basically, I believe it's under Zoom here. The minimum text size. So basically, there is no minimum, medium, large, and extra large. So if text is too tiny, you can have it so that all text that's on the screen is rendered as large as possible.
Or default zoom level.
Default zoom too. Be careful with that one. Yeah, it was easy. At 125, I thought it was too big for most stuff I was looking at already. But you know what? If you have to go there, you have to go there. So other than that, I think it's a pretty sweet browser setup. And it also has some compatibility stuff too if you want to basically have the browser appear as other browsers. Other than, say, Mozilla. Maybe you want it to appear as Internet Explorer 8 or something like that. You can set that as well if need be. I also have game consoles, too. I'm not sure why you'd want a game console, but
just in case. Hey, Keith also recommends 3 Firefox extensions, Web Tabs, which adds a couch-friendly skin. However, it doesn't really work with Firefox 4.0. Then there's No Squint and Theme Font and Size Changer, which all work well together to let you adjust the size of various aspects of the browser. DTM suggested a free app called Hotkey Resolution Changer that actually assigns different screen resolutions to keyboard shortcuts, allowing you to switch between them pretty easily. This one seems most useful for those who just, well, occasionally hook their computer up to the TV but don't have a dedicated home theater PC.
Hey, AMD's graphics drivers, and probably Nvidia's as well, feature hotkeys that can be assigned to a specific picture profile that you can define using some or all of the driver's features, basically color, resolution, display settings, pretty much anything. You can assign it to a hotkey. I usually have one set for 720p output versus, say, the notebook's native 1366 by 768. So I can toggle back and forth between those pretty easily.
Cool.
Yeah. And let's fire up one more question to close out the show. TSS Laporte tweets, I was wondering if using Google two-step verification eliminates the Android security leak.
Short answer, probably not. The potential for the leak occurs when a malicious person sets up an open Wi-Fi hotspot with a common name, or I should say hotspot, not hotspit. It's a braces kind of day. Basically, somebody sets up a honeypot, an open Wi-Fi hotspot. You log into that hotspot with your Android phone, say default or Starbucks or free Wi-Fi. Never ever log into anything.
Always click on that one.
Wi-Fi. Your Android phone would think it's a hotspot that it's connected to before, so it would automatically connect and automatically syncs your Google services. During the sync process, your credentials, of course, get sent to the Google service, who then send back an authentication token. It's that token, that authentication token, that the malicious party who set up the honeypot, the fake Wi-Fi router, that's what the malicious party wants. They can use that token then to connect to your account. The problem with the two-step verification is that it's designed to thwart people who might have access to your password, having really nothing to do with the token sent back and forth. And if someone goes to the trouble to set up a fake Wi-Fi hotspot, they can probably configure it to work around the two-step verification, or at least try really hard to do that.
Ooh. However, this is all moot because Google has implemented a server-side fix, one that requires no action on your part. Yay! That closed the leak for everyone. So while it's still a good idea to use the two-step verification for maximum security,
and I would say, if you're like one of my banking sites I work with, they do multiple layers of authentication where basically I look at a picture and that picture tells me whether or not I'm actually on their browser. If I see the wrong picture, then I know that I'm logged in. I know that somebody is phishing or that their servers have been compromised or something's funny in Denmark, and I know to investigate. It's still a really good idea to use the two-step verification for maximum security. I just don't think it would have helped the security leak we've been talking about on Android. But again, Google has patched this.
And this would even get around someone like me who's now adopting insanely long, complicated passwords. This had nothing really. Once you provide that information, it's then that token that comes with the token.
The token. You got a tech question that needs answering, whether it's about mobile security, home theater, PCs, even a suggestion on a new product you think we should review, and yes, we are working on a collection of modern price products to review. Send it in. Tekzilla at revision3.com is the email address, or you can post it up on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Tekzilla.
And of course, we're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TechHD, TEKHD, and Twitter at Tekzilla, at Robert Heron, at Patrick Norton, at Veronica. And thank you so much for watching.
I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Robert Heron.
Until next time, you've been watching Tekzilla.
Panasonic's Hollywood Labs is right across the freeway from Vivid Entertainment. Ask Mom what they do there.
Shopping your unbelievable living room browser suggestions, stopping Android security leak, and planking. So grab the syrup and douse those oatmeal pancakes because Tekzilla starts now.